All About Love, dedicated to all my beautiful subscribers here on YouTube and in the universe. We are all connected. I wanted to share my story about how I woke up. So I'm a dancer, a teacher, a choreographer, and rapper, MC, poet, whatever you want to call it, and a grad student at University of Iowa. Now, I don't have my undergraduate. I didn't get great grades when I was in public school. I was getting C's and D's, and report cards were a big deal. Everything was based on a letter, and my heart would be pumping, and I was in special ed, where I felt the teachers, when I was younger, didn't have the patience to deal with someone like my brain, which is unique. And then, of course, we're given labels like ADHD, hyperactivity. However, we should pull aside and look at the diet that most children get exposed to. Fast food, fast. We know what it is, the GMOs. It affects the DNA, creates a shift in our consciousness at a young age, so then it's hard for us to manifest what our talents are if we are unique. So in my young journey, I had things competing with me, which made it hard for me in the school system. But back to how I got into the university setting as an MFA graduate, right? Going for my master's in choreography. Choreo. Rio is the sun. Graph. Graph is a flat board in which we are creating energies over this board of life. Earth also, in etymology, relates to tellurian, which means a dice board. And we have board games. We have a board or a faculty. Where do these things come from? How do we get these kinds of connections? We have to think outside of the board or of the box, which is what the earth is, the cube. It is the first element. So how, once again, at 41 years old, did I end up, after retiring from a professional dance career, right, where I got injured, I didn't know where I was going. A few years ago, I was in Switzerland at a company called Béjar Ballet, a world-class company. Everyone knows them in all over the world, right? And then all of a sudden, my career comes to a halt. So here's how I woke up and really got into this journey of information. So I noticed on Facebook that people were posting this technical, physical move in ballet called the pirouette, where you spin on one leg, and it's impressive, and you can do it many times. It's the spiraling of the DNA. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful metaphor of ascension. Pirouette comes from the word pyros, which means fire. Hence, pyramid, the midpoint, everything goes up and dance. Very simple. So I'm on Facebook, and I'm watching all these posts of technical things in ballet, right? And I'm thinking to myself, that's cool that these individuals have a talent to spin on one leg, but I wanted to write something else about what I thought was more impressive. Now, I know someone who's a legend. Her name is Raven Wilkinson, first African-American ballerina of the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo, a very famous company from the 1930s all the way up to the 50s, around that time period, the Great Depression. These dance companies simply gave birth to major ballet companies like New York City Ballet and American Ballet Theater. So Raven Wilkinson has an amazing story. So she's an African-American. Long story short, she danced during the Jim Crow era, and the KKK decided to visit her while her company was on tour in the segregated South. Now imagine the intensity, the fear, the not knowing what's going to happen. These men coming to possibly lynch this poor woman who just wants to dance regardless of her race. She had to wear powder on her skin to cover up her race so that she could dance. That was one of the elements, actually, in this company she was in, the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo, was that the girls of color had to wear white powder in order to have a career. So they have to shift, once again, their consciousness and be ashamed just to provide the art that's in heaven. It is our Father who art. We always miss the art in that prayer. A creative God and goddess makes all things. So Raven Wilkinson, my friend, legend, mentor also to Misty Copeland, if you're familiar with her. She's the first African-American ballerina with American Ballet Theater, and she's doing very big things. She's graced the cover of Time magazine. Long story short, Raven is an awesome spirit. She still lives today, and all she cares about is who's dancing and when, and giving you memories of her past, and she has so many awesome memories. Langston Hughes took her out to dinner to celebrate her getting a contract as the first African-American ballerina. That's who we're dealing with. A piece of history that still lives today. Ironically, she's on a breathing machine now from smoking, but her spiritus, by the way, means breath. Her spirit kept her alive at 85, has a hard time walking for a long period of time, but because of her spirit, once again, this is all about spirit and what it really means. We all have a unique version of this. Because of her spirit, she still lives today. It's a no-brainer. It's more than science and data and information and all this research that we tend to do in academia, we miss the willpower of the human being. We have free will, hence we should free willy. The whale, the belly of the whale. These are all energies. The tropics in astrology, you have Cancer is the top, Capricorn is the bottom energy. These things form shapes. The belly is Capricorn. Metaphorically, when you look at the circle or the cycle of Earth, it has energies going around it in a cycle. That's what your spirit is doing. It's doing these cycles like you're on a bicycle, or you have the sickle of Saturn. In the name, Saturn is turn. Elohim, when you research, it simply means to turn and twist. Hence, Chubby Checker had the twist. Tornadoes, twist. Torus fields, T-O-R-U-S, twist. We have a torso, and Taurus is a star, or it's a bunch of stars in astrology. Very simple. Back to Raven, spirit, stars. How did I get here? So I'm on Facebook and I'm seeing everyone posting these pirouettes, these turning sensations, the technical parts, the special effects of dance or ballet. And I said, I'm more impressed with the story of people like Raven Wilkinson, who survived a near-death experience with the KKK, than watching people doing pirouettes or turns. Now, it wasn't an insult to anyone who's talented at turning on one leg. It's impressive, but there's more to life than the special effects that we have. These special effects also can play a role in academia, where the focus is on a set thing, a set way of doing research, everything in a cubicle. Once again, the earth is the cube, the first element. You have a cuboid in your foot. You are one with this geometry. Whether you look like one or not, a cube I mean, you are a reflection of geometry. And it's always manifesting itself, and it's always evolving and changing. When I posted what I posted about Raven Wilkinson on Facebook, I had a friend immediately send me a message saying, you must write a movie about her life. Random. I've never written a script in my life. I'm an artist. I dance, I choreograph, I teach, I rap, I have a good sense of humor, but I never wrote a script for a movie. So I thought, wow, that would require research. Beautiful. Got into research. At this time, this gentleman who sent me the message, he sent me video footage of Michael Tessarion's subversive symbols and how to be symbol literate. He sent me information about the truther called Mark Passio. Really awesome, talked about the symbols of yoga and geometry and what union means, and how to look at things and to once again be symbol literate so that we can see that everything being used on television and movies and in schools and religions, they all have a code and a geometric energy and symbols that affect our subconscious brain, whether we like it or not. We should be liking it by being well versed in the symbols. So this friend keeps feeding me these links and they're blowing my mind. I'm seeing things that were right in front of me my entire childhood that the average eye couldn't show me because they're not being taught how to be symbol literate. Now, in the word symbol is bull. That word bull is very popular. We all have a bull. It's the torus, T-O-R-U-S, fields. They're electric and magnetic. They are real in research. They are a part of science. This is a real thing that exists dancing around us. The idea of the cow. Why is it sacred in India? The urine of the cow is sacred in India. That bull. Krishna has bulls. Christ has lambs. These are animals. Zodiac means ring of animals. Ring of animals. Metaphors. Art in heaven. Our Father. The hours, Horus. Who? Art. Sarasvati. A Hindu goddess who has art in her title, which is an ancient understanding that came before certain organized religions. So how did I wake up? I was doing research on Raven Wilkinson's beautiful life, her dance career. She lived during the Great Depression. There was many things about her story. She was working for a company, the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo, and the director was a banker from Russia named Sergei Denim. Okay, and he worked with communists in Russia. He was doing a whole bunch of stuff. He leaves Russia, comes to America to put his talents into an art company, a dance company. Do you understand how intense that is? That means that this man how much he had to go through to leave that time in Russia, okay? During the 1930s and 40s, it was crazy. You got Hitler, you got the Karl Marx issues going on, you got people with their ideas of what truth is and how we should be living. But once again, we must do our research today to see that some of these things can be harmful if we're not well versed in what's happening through research. Very simple. So Sergey Denham, director of Raven Wilkinson's company, he was a banker dealing with communists, dealing with tyrants. He comes to America and starts this ballet company, takes it over, and he defends Raven when she goes through her racist hell. Wow. That's called community. That's called hope. That's called something the average dancer might not know about the history of ballet. As opposed to ballet is a simple thing. It's the Nutcracker. We get dressed up. We see it one time, we miss the symbols in Nutcracker, and then we go off on our journey, which I'm not hating on, but there's more to Nutcracker than it's Christmas time and we're seeing a doll that breaks nuts. Because the Nutcracker has the word nut. Nut in Egyptian means the sky. What cracks the sky? The sun does. Every morning, it cracks it open and gives you the light that shines in your solar plexus in your stomach. You are a walking solar panel of information designed to do deeper research, designed to have an aha moment like me on Facebook, where I said one thing, boom, boom. A friend of mine sent another, electric and magnetic. We came together, and from his advice to me, atomically, I am now spiraling into doing presentations in 1 minute where I can bring Israel, I can bring Christianity and the Middle East together. I can bring all races through numbers, etymology, everything relates to astrology somehow, all of it. An orb, Mars, Jupiter, they're real. It's okay to look at the stars at night and say, hey, what is charging those stars? Nothing is plugged into them. How is it we're down here running around plugging and dying for our phones? Our phones are dying. Even the phones have a spirit and a personality. Even I get mad at my gadgets. Gadget means God. Gut means God. So what's in our guts? And then we're eating all this stuff, right? We're putting things in our body because we're told to eat this many times during the day. This is what the protein pyramid is. Get this. And we're eating all this stuff and we're getting bigger and bigger. Nothing personal. I have empathy, but we're getting bigger and bigger. We're getting more money, but we're getting sicker and sicker and more confused. So that by the time we're supposed to ascend and we reach an older age where we should be sort of, I've got it all. We're sick and we're in a hospital bed with our head wrapped up in gauze, wires plugged into our bodies like an octopus, and a machine beeping in a hospital that serves you Pepsi and fried chicken when you're probably sick from diabetes. This is where we are today. Why would a hospital meant to heal you, hence my shirt Helios, which means the sun, we have a heel in our foot? Very simple. It's in our body. Why would a place that's meant to heal you serve you fast food, anything poisonous at all? Asking questions are important. The life and death are important to understand that our brains are connected to life energy very well. How do I know this? Is it magic? Is it some kind of weird voodoo? It's not weird. No, voodoo is just basically chanting and creating energies, really. None of it's meant to be one thing. Like witchcraft. It's a craft. We're crafting the witches. Well, who are witches but females? That would be the Pleiades, the 7 sisters. The women, or witches, have a lot of wisdom in history. And they were burned, right, for having holistic understandings of nature. They knew things that kings and queens did not know. The kings and queens and knights, I'm not saying they were all evil, but most of them lived a certain way in which they had to bring tyranny and control, and people had to get hurt and forced and fearful. We don't have fire, they got it. Well, we have iPhones and phones today and apps for research. We can Google one thing, like I can Google the cortex in my brain. Cortex means what? Bark of tree? Medulla means pith of plant. In my brain, medulla and cortex relates to a plant. Now, I'm mentioning to you about life and death energies. We can control life. I had plants that were dying, and I asked my mentor, Santos Bonacci, an amazing truther, who is the truther that really helped me make the connections with my presentations, because he makes it very simple, and he gets all the information done in a very humble and relatable way. So how, right? How do I have this life energy? Well, the Hindus say that my crown chakra is a lotus flower of 1,000 petals. The thalamus in my brain means receiver of the flower at etymology.com. Research yourself. I've shown my students this in dance classes, and it makes them feel like, oh my gosh, whoa, there's so much more to me than I was taught. And it's okay. So how do I have life force energy? How can I influence life? How can I prove it to you? Well, I had plants that were dying. So I freaked out, didn't know what to do. They were dying for months, nothing was growing. I poured water in them, brought them in the house, put them in a position of better lighting. Nothing was working, so I asked my mentor, Santos Bonacci, what do you think I should do? He said, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I was doing this to the plants for weeks. Nothing was going on. Then all of a sudden, I kept doing it, and this is what happened. You see this side, the dead ones are there. And then on the other side, we have life, and we have more plants growing than we're dying from chanting. That's proof. I just told you, my cortex means bark of tree, medulla, pith of plants, my thalamus, receiver of the flower. And to prove more, this plant was dead, but look, you see the life coming out? I chanted to this, and this is what happens, right? Nature wants to live. Whether we agree with nature or not, or we like it or not, it matters not. Nature is here to provide creative life energy that humans can manipulate. So why would I hold this information back from people, right? I'm in University of Iowa. I'm getting A's and B's. I was getting C's and D's when I was in public school. How did I get there? Well, before I got here, like I'm telling you now, I opened myself to someone else's message and simply responded, electric and magnetic, and atomically I flowered from my crown chakra, started changing my way of teaching dance. I add the 5 elements to ballet now. We have 5 major positions in ballet. There are 5 elements and 5 geometric shapes. Done. You walk out like, wow, I didn't know that. 5 is a powerful number. I have 5 fingers here. I have a bicep and a tricep. 2 and 3 is 5. Interesting. I have a head, 2 arms, and 2 legs. Those are 5 points. Columbia, South Carolina has a 5 points downtown. Atlanta, I believe, also has a 5 points. Venus, the orb, which is a real orb, makes a 5-pointed pentagram around the sun every 8 years. And we find that star on every single flag in history. And we miss it from working so hard, working to look away from nature, which influenced technology, right? It gave it the energy for us to type and make money and connections. There's nothing wrong with this. We can bring life back to the corporate way of working. It's just that we are so busy that we get disconnected from nature and our own family and our own personal trauma. Now that brings me to a very important issue. It doesn't matter how much truth I have. I don't care about being right or wrong. I care about ascending. It's called ascended masters. We're getting degrees in school. We wake up in the morning, where's the sun? Low. And it's moving in degrees during your day. The sun's graduating every day with you. You have a solar plexus. The sun is solar powered. You are one with the sun's movements. So when we're going to school, those degrees, are they aligned with nature? Or are some of them kind of deviating away and making their own understandings? I'm asking questions. We love to theorize at university. Well, theo means God. It's very simple. What does God mean? Is it a person that wants to do things to you? Or is it an energy? Is it historically a symbol? Containers. Words are containers of energy. G and O and D each have their unique energies. You could write thousands of books on the letter G, O, and D because they're atomic and they can dance. Like cursive. What does cursive look like? The DNA spiral. The sin wave the sun makes. It's an actual term. Sine wave. I'm signing my name on this document. The dock of the bay. Sitting at the dock of the bay. It's a song. The doctor at the bay. The water. Once again, metaphors. Maritime admiralty law. Mare means water. We're living with the laws of the sea. Water, women's water breaks. Hence we break dance. We break it down. So we have to know what to look for, to know how to make these connections on our own. Dealing with our trauma, very important. What happened to me when I was a child? Did I like A, B, C, and D? If I didn't like it, I need to have closure. And if the people who did it to me don't like me sharing it, we have to find a way to still get the pus out. You have to purge. There's no improvement without purging. The earth purges all the time. Earthquakes, volcano eruptions. When Venus was being created as a comet, by the way, coma is Greek for hair, so hence why women do hair shampoo commercials all the time, because Venus started off as a fiery comet. Read Emmanuel Velikovsky's Worlds in Collision, interesting writer there. Anyhow, long story short, she was the fiery one. And when she was birthing herself and trying to make herself relevant, she destroyed the earth. She did, she destroyed it, but in the destruction, she gave us more. She gave us the fifth element. Before it was Venus, this is very important to understand, there were four major gods. You had Mars, you had Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury. Those were the main gods. So I ask myself a question now, and I'm asking you to help me with this. Why would the universe add a fifth element? Why would the universe create that entity which then gives birth to the five major positions in all ballets, all dances, even hip hop, modern, contemporary? They all work with five. All of them. Hip hop culture has five elements, doesn't it? They say four, but there are five. Let's see if I can remember the five of them. We have graffiti, right, in hip hop. We have beatboxing, for sure. We have the rapping, we have the DJ, and we have break dancing. Break dancing. That's another element. Those are five. Right there. I'm an MC. I love hip hop culture. Hip hop it's a pas de deux, man. A pas de deux in ballet in French means a dance for two. Gemini are twins in astrology. So hip and hop is the one and the two. Your heart beats 1, 2. Very simple. Mic check, 1, 2. The 1 and the 2, you put it together, you get 12. We have 12 cell salts in our body. 12 body functions. The dodecahedron, the fifth element sphere of ether or Esther or Venus, has 12 faces. So what does all this information do for me? It motivates me to get up and it charges me to then walk barefoot on the earth, which is the cube. I have a cuboid in my foot. Look it up. Common sense. I don't have to ask a doctor's permission for this. If I walk barefoot on the earth with my cuboid on the cube, I'm harnessing more wisdom, more health than any man-made or woman-made information can give me just from walking on the earth. Because geo in geometry comes from Gaia, which is the earth. Ghana relates to Gaia in Africa, which means the earth. There's a city called Guyonum in Jerusalem with a G. Guyonum, or however you pronounce that, it relates to Gaia, the earth. Africa, etymology, relates to terra, look it up, which means earth. We are earth people. We have to get out of colors and who was the original what. Walk on the earth, have a natural diet. It's common sense. We are all naturally gifted. Naturally, hence nature. So I walk barefoot on the earth, my appetite has changed. I'm not starving throughout the day, craving a McDonald's cheeseburger that has poison in it, that wants to help me to come back to it as an addict. So now we've legalized our drugs. All these fast food chains and the commercials, and they get celebrities to then make it seem okay. That's, slow down and ask yourself, why are they using these amazingly talented celebrities and athletes to promote unhealthy products? It's a very good question, and it's a humble question. It's not to attack their talents. You know what I'm saying? It's not to break down their achievements. It's to only question, why is it, for some reason, in order for a celebrity to reach millions of people, they have to have some corporation whose intentions may be well, but if it's a soda company that has like aspartame, which causes cancer, a chemical, research, ask yourself, why does it take these corporations to make celebrities famous and then now everyone knows who they are? When before, let's say they were on their own personal journey, living off of nature, no hunger pains, no cancers, no arthritis, because when you walk barefoot on the earth, it handles inflammation. I've seen it. I had a bruise in my toenail from dancing. I stepped on my toenail last year. The bruise stayed there for a year in my toenail and my big toe. From walking on the earth, it's gone now. So I'm saying there's something going on with Mother Earth, the healer, hence Helios. We have a heel, sun, sole of the foot, soul, Latin for the sun. I'm saying a lot of things quickly and making connections in 25 minutes that is possible from etymology, from being open-minded, opening my eyes and looking at the things that can help me be a better person, a healthier person, living off the land, natural energy. Why am I wearing these copper bracelets? Because we have copper in our brain. Well, who rules copper but Venus? We have to get into the stars. Have closure with yourself. Deal with your personal trauma before you get into the truth. Because I didn't really. I got a whole bunch of information about some deep things and I hadn't processed my stress and I was just spewing out all this stuff and I was freaking people out and I realized, wait a minute, Jay, you're an artist, art in heaven. You must find a creative way. My friend told me this too, a creative way to give your information because I choreograph, right? I know how to put moves together. So then I thought, okay, great. I'm going to apply the 5 elements, the 5 geometric shapes with ballet's 5 major positions. I have children at 8, 9, 10 years of age. I've memorized it all over America. I have students at University of Iowa that now know the 5 elements. They also know that pi is 22 divided by 7 gives you 3.14. You have 22 bones in your skull and you have a 7 pH balance in your body. We are all circular symbols of pi, which is the earth, is a pie. They're metaphors and we're aligned with that. That didn't take much time for me to tell you that. I didn't go tell you to get a book and then write something and then let me criticize it and then look for your grammar maybe, or these things are beautiful to do, but after a while, there's more gems hidden within our information from our indigenous people. People who were slaughtered and taken out before we got here, that laid down all of this information so that I could benefit and then pass it along as a teacher. Wow, amazing. How would I ever pass that up? We have apps today where we can touch something and in 5 seconds we can find out if something is good or bad. In ancient times, they did not have that. In ancient times, all the indigenous people were open and loved pretty much because what were they doing living off the earth? Nature. They weren't killing and slaughtering each other. At one point, we were living in some kind of utopia or flow before the flood and a cataclysm took place and changed things. But back to this. So I'm indigenous, I'm on the earth, I'm exploring my medicines, nature and plants, I'm loving my children, and here come these foreigners wearing metal and swords and they have boats and they land. And what do? Ah, great, who are these people? They must be gods and goddesses. They have all this technology and these men and women came to these islands pretending to be curious, known as conquistadors. Now, I'm not saying all these people were evil, or Templar Knights in the Crusades, or Knights of Malta. Research these things. Everyone talks about knights and chivalry and honor. There's way more going on than that. First of all, why are they called knights? Because knights are dark, dark time, darkness, that would be Set. Set is Saturn. Saturn is the ruler of the souls in astrology. Very important orb to understand. Very important to Islam and to the Jews. Saturn, hence Saturn's day, the Sabbath, Saturday. Very simple. There's no drama there. It's very simple. That I can prove with the word Saturday. So anyway, so here I am allowing these people to come to my land. I live freely off of it. And then all of a sudden things go to hell because these individuals had another alternative. And they pretended to dance with the people and then slaughtered them and took the information, brought it back to a certain place or places and remixed it. Hence remixing. Of course. Why not? This information's powerful. Astrology, how did Christopher Columbus navigate or Navajo? Nava. Hindu. Nava is 9. Navajo. Okay, Nava. Nove. 9 in Italian apparently. Navy. Nave. The part of a church? Church comes from Circe, the Greek moon goddess, which gives birth to the word circle. Navy. Navigate. The 9. Why does nave mean 9 or nava? Nove. Supernova. The 9. Because in the Kabbalah tree of life, you have the ninth sphere is called the Yasod. The Yasod simply means the foundation. Your Yasod is in your lower chakra. Very simple. It's the generative organs. The generative organs that generate. Through the organs we make our church music. The organs of the church are the organs of your body. Hence, nave, meaning the part of a church, gives birth to navy. So your military people, your army, the same word as Mary, like Virgin Mary, ask questions. It's there. Why? Because hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. The woman's energy, the birther, the waters that flood and can drown you if you're not balanced with Libra, the balancing one, the scales, or Ma'at, whatever you want to call her, Athena, Semiramis. Why is it Semiramis in Babylon? Semi's in the middle. The ram, you have a cerebram. Brahma means the head in Hindu. Brahma, cerebram. So the Semiramis is a metaphor for Venus's influence. You have copper. Ask yourself questions in your brain. Do these orbs have anything to do with energy and making things? Yes. Obviously, why are the stars shining and they're not plugged in? They're just up there shining 24 hours a day, with light, without light. What is happening up there? Then all of a sudden, we have this circular energy earth down here with trees and every kind of insect, every color flower, every kind of animal, every kind of human being, every kind of air, different temperatures, different structures of mountains. Why? Why would a cataclysm shift the earth and change it for the better? And give us a fifth element, a head to our dimensions. The head, the fifth element, the temple, Venus, ether. The fifth element is dodecahedron for ether. Esther, E-T, etymology simply relates to estrogen. And who has estrogen but women? We must respect these women, but women must deal with their personal trauma even more than men, because women are extremely psychic and extremely powerful. You cannot match a woman's rage, in my humblest opinion. They have way more complexities to their bodies. The uterus is a universe within a universe, and it's intense what a woman body can do. And women need to know what their body is a symbol of. The pinball game you play, ding, 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 ding. This game with the ball that goes up, bing, I just had an aha moment. Bing, the ball, that's your dodecahedron. That's what moves. That ball is ether. It's the prima mobile. Look that one up. Prima ballerina? Could there be a relationship? Oh, you better believe it. So here I'm playing this game, right? Was it ping pong or whatever? And the ball's bing, bing, and it's hitting points of the sides of the game that has sides, kind of like your Kabbalah. Kabbalah with the 9 spheres, and then you have a zigzag, energies bouncing from side to side. Why? That hit ether, your temple. The game is all about keeping the ether, your energies, alive, staying in the game. When the ball falls in the hole in that video game, done, no more ether. We need to know what ether is. It's a white symbol. Ether's white light, all white light. It's powerful, it's pure, boom, still. White light exists. We all make the white light. Why does it take 7 colors to make white light? And we have racism. We're racing each other when we're all colors that equal the same result. I don't understand. It confuses me how confused we are. And then we let social media dictate to us what the news should be. It's social media. You can be social. You have a social security card. But do we have security within? Are we insecure? Is it social insecurity? Just because I have a number and a job, do I know right from wrong behavior? Because I have a label, do I know how to keep my hand over here? You know what I'm saying? When I'm seeing another person. Maybe I don't, right? But I'm really good at writing. I'm really smart. I'm fast. Whatever. But we look past the moral character of an individual because we have to get a job or a Job. Didn't Job go through hell in the Bible? Wasn't it some kind of a test? God said, yeah, I'm going to take everything away from this guy. and made a deal with the devil of some sort, right? It was involved. And so he tested Job, God. Interesting metaphor here. Job, same word. So Job goes through hell, loses everything, but does not lose the faith. What is the faith? Simple. Free will. We have the faith. The spirit, breath, spiritus means breath. When you breathe and meditate, that air, that octahedron is spirit. It's consciousness. It's what makes you who you are. So you're not just something running around. So when Job was losing everything, he still kept his spirit, his faith. And then from doing so, lost his family, everything wiped out from this man. What an intense story, right? Whoa, like why? It makes you ask like, gosh, then everything's given back after God realized that this individual kept the faith. Very simple metaphor, kept believing in the self. Not necessarily some idea of what a God thing might be, right? Right from wrong behavior is what God energy gives you to know the difference between the electric and the magnetic. The atoms in your body that negotiate, work together, don't debate and debunk and do research. They just work together and get it done, and then you live. And then we're theorizing all day. Well, Job is your job. Your job is to keep the faith. That's it. Faith in what? Well, if you're a part of religion, great. I don't criticize that. Why? If that's what makes you feel good, then go in there with a vibration that can shift the energy. Do some research. Look into other cultures in ancient times and what they were worshiping, and you'll notice a trinity, a 3 and a 12. For example, Jason and the Argonauts, 12 companions. Moses, 12 loaves of bread. Hercules, 12 labors. Christ, 12 disciples. The human body, 12 cell salts, 12 functions. 12 cranial nerves? 12 months in the year. 12 numbers on a clock. So what's going on there? There's a lot of symbolism there. And the number brings it together. Not the guessing and the I thought. It's a fact. That's faith. Fact is faith. And there is facts, or are facts, that we can find if we research. See is in search. Google, search in the sea of the woman's energy. Women break water. Mare, once again, means water. When you're searching, you are swimming in the sea of the sacred feminine ability. Women know things. They always remember things over men. Why is it women always know stuff and men forget? It's not to battle the genders. It's just women have an ability. It's cool. It's great. But if you harness it more to focus on what the body means and you research your body parts, you find that you have phalanges in your feet and hand means a military division. Now, what came first, the body or the military? I think we came first. Pretty sure. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Then we have what is called a meniscus in our knee. Well, your meniscus makes a figure 8 when you Google it. And meniscus relates to a lemniscate, which means the figure 8, which is what the sun does as the sine wave. Bam, it makes a figure 8, a lemniscate. Your meniscus in your knee is astrology. It's the dance of the orbs. Tibia means flute. So, my body is an instrument. Interesting. Deltoid bone relates to delta. The delta, anyone who's a delta or an alpha, your body has that before. So what came first? You came first. Atlas is a bone that holds up your head. What did he do? Hold the world. What is the shape of your head and the world? Looks pretty round to me, metaphors. We have an Achilles heel or a tendon. Achilles was a Greek god. I've done presentations about these things, but it's always good to remind people and just speak face to face. Search my channel, go to all my 1-minute presentations and just see. The future of research is getting things to a certain point where everyone can digest it, where there's no need to debunk anyone or to attack someone or to get angry at someone. We don't have time for that. What we have time to do is use our phones for knowledge of selfie, not knowledge of just whatever someone else is doing and you share someone else's meme. Meme comes from mem, by the way, which means water in Hebrew. You have fluid, cerebral spinal fluid is also water in your brain, by the way. You have a memory, mem, Hebrew for water, hippocampus, Hippo literally means a seahorse, and it looks like a seahorse, the hippocampus. Why? Google it. Ask yourself why. Don't take my word for it. So there's so much information for us to get familiar with. And so this is how I woke up. It was from one message. I sent forth something. Someone else sent me information, and I wrote a movie script about Raven Wilkinson's life, doing research. And the whole film is based on symbolism and overcoming adversity through being symbol literate. So I'd love to one day share this script with anyone who might know how to make movies and is interested in making a groundbreaking ballet film, whose only agenda is to make you symbol literate and aware of an awesome individual known as Raven Wilkinson, who is responsible for my research. She didn't physically make me do it, but here I am because of her name. Raven relates to the Corvus constellation. Corvus means raven in Latin. It's a constellation. Then we have the Columba constellation, which means the dove, and doves are white. In Latin, Columba. Interesting, people. Black and white birds in the universe 24 hours a day, and no one's talking about this. No one's using this. I have a ballet called Birds of Light about Raven's life. It's got Venus, Jupiter, the sun, the moon. Venus is called Loom. The sun is called Golden Niece, wordplay. Saturn is called Leadgar because the alchemical metal for Saturn, research it, is lead. Hence LED lighting. LED lighting comes from the energy of the electric orb of Saturn. It's a very powerful orb. But we know that these orbs have energy. That's a no-brainer. The moon's name I gave was Silvera, silver. Your coins are all silver. Simple, right? So there's no need to be too deep about astrology. It's very complex. But if you simply just look at the names, you will start to find, wow, simple connections. Why are there animals in the sky? Why does zodiac mean ring of animals? What are these animals doing in my body? Do I have any metaphors in my body that relates to a donkey? You do. You ever been called a donkey? You pin the tail on the donkey? Well, what does that really come from? You have a pons in your brain. Look at my presentations. I talk about the brain a lot. The pons is P-O-N-S. You have one in your brain. You know what it means? The bridge of asses. What are also known as asses? Donkeys. Very simple. There's an ass in Midsummer Night's Dream, right? The man gets turned into a donkey, doesn't he? Of course, Pinocchio gets turned into a donkey. Christ rides a donkey. Sancho Panza in Don Quixote rides a donkey. What is this donkey? What is it doing? Is it just an animal used for entertainment? Or were our ancient ones very wise and used metaphors? Hence, our Father who art in heaven. That's in your prayer. Art gives birth to metaphors, things that are creative, not literal, creative. So the donkey is in your brain. What is the donkey doing? What do donkeys do? It's very simple. Donkeys carry heavy loads from the bottom of the mountain, and they can go up that mountain with strong heels and hooves, muscle. Kind of feels a little bit like a bull as well. They're the same animal. Same metaphor. Taurus fields. Taurus is the bull. Come on. Donkeys, bulls, hamstring. That would be the pig. You have pigment. Our skin relates to pigs very closely. Fact. Simple. So when you eat your meat, you have M-E in meat. Me. We are in there. We relate to animals. We aren't animals. You can get your protein from eating vegan. I've gone so far for 2 years. I'm fine. My muscles are great. I was told I would never dance again 3 years ago from a hip impingement, quote unquote. But I have a sacrum, and I researched the sacrum is sacred. Hence, my body requires other things besides an MRI, some needles and pills, and a death sentence of it's over. Because your body has an immune system. Don't we get immunity? Especially when you go to Switzerland, where I dance, a lot of people run there for immunity. We have an immune system. It came from you. One of the most powerful things anyone can get is immunity. So why does my body have immunity if it's going to get sick and then have to stop dancing at some point? When it can keep going and going and going if I'm grounded with earth and nature. How else did we find the instruments to create with? We had to use nature. We had to build things. You have abdominals, look a lot like bricks. There's a song called She's a Brick House. Your abdominals look square to me. Earth is the cube. You have the cuboid in your foot. Someone is trying to say something about us as a human creation. We're beautiful. We are a jambalaya. Jam comes from Jupiter, jovial, etymology. Jehovah relates to J-A-H, Jah, in etymology. It's right there. In seconds, you can see that someone went to the trouble of showing how all things are related, hence your relatives. You know, we aren't just related to our relatives. We are all related, or descendants. Doesn't that mean to fall into something? Descending and ascendants? We have ascended masters? Huh, what are those about? Research those. Some beautiful symbols here that we have even in our family. But what does family mean? Fam is simply all of us. We are all a family. So knowing things that can benefit humanity is what I'm all about as an artist. Our Father who art in heaven. The Father has her in it, H-E-R. Why is it a fat her for father? When women get pregnant, they get bigger and their bellies become round. Hence the symbol of the feminine is the 0. Look it up. Once again, Circe, C-I-R-C-E, is a Greek moon goddess, which gives birth to the word circle and the word church. There's no debunking or debating that. Etymology, Oxford, tells you this. So, I'm grateful to be in a university. When I was told as a child that I'm special, I'm too hyper, I can't do ballet because I'm black, and I proved them wrong. My mom fought for me, and the spirit will always prevail. Once again, Raven inspired me. Raven hung in there. Even her own dancers protected her. When a Klansman got on the bus looking for her, and they put their bodies in that guy's way so he couldn't hurt Raven, that's spirit, that's community. That's the way we should be living. More awareness. How are you feeling? Never mind your grades or your talent or your money. Are you happy? Are you truly okay with where you are? Do you have any ailments? Do you have any personal traumas that you just can't get out and you're masking them from just constantly working and doing the job, getting something done? Are you getting closure with yourself? Well, I have had closure with myself. I've dealt with my personal trauma. I've confronted family and I've opened up about it and I got a beautiful result. I got closure. So now I'm at peace. There are still problems and issues. Fitting into society when you are into nature is not easy. But I know it's possible because here I am, lo and behold, teaching the science of light and love in a university. Think about that. I'm honored. I'm grateful. There's a reason why I'm here. It's a positive reason. There's no negativity. There's no analyzing, there's no overthinking this. We all have the power to make a difference. The information is what gives the power to make the difference. People who are light workers, they influence light from your solar plexus in your stomach. Why would they give you a solar plexus? You're a walking solar panel. Hence we have a classical ballet called La Bayadere. The lead dancer is solar. So anyone who doesn't know what ballet is, well, solar means the sun. So it's simple. So now you know what ballet is. Ballet is the ball of E.T. Bal and et. Et, I told you, etymology, relates to estrogen. Who has that but ether? Esther. And some scientists said that ether isn't real, and they pushed away the sacred feminine, hence the reason for my thesis at University of Iowa. I was raised by a single mom. Too many young women are raising children by themselves because men think it's all about lust. Pimping these hoes? No. The Adonis, the quarterback, the cool one? Nothing personal. I'm not saying that all men are bad here. But we have a stereotype as men. Yeah, the hunter. You know, I'm going to score. I'm going to score tonight. Yeah, I'm going to get some. Or I'm going to hit it and quit it. These terms are just, there's no intimacy in hitting it and quitting it. I'm going to get some. I'm going to smash it. I'm in the club. You know what club means? To break into pieces. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but most clubs are very noisy and give you all this alcohol. And now you're drunk and someone's yelling in your ear, spitting all over you. The next thing you know, you wake up in the morning and your whole life is different. Got to be careful. No judgment. I used to do it. So I'm not judging. I'm just speaking from my heart, from my trachea, from my toy story. You know what an anagram for Taurus is? Toy. Hence the movie Toy Story is about the bull. Hence why Taurus in astrology rules the throat. There's nothing bad there. That's a fact. So we all have a torus field. We have a voice, a toy. Your throat, your trachea, it's the supreme toy. The toy came from you. Those dolls came from your body. Why are we playing with false symbols of ourselves instead of looking at the real symbols of ourselves? The real doll, the real toy is me, is you. Don't get played. Perfect. We have organs, church organs. Don't let them play you, player. Are you a player or are you a composer of your organs? Are you composing your magic flute? Wink, wink, Mozart. We have a skin flute. Pan has a flute. Shiva's lingam. What does all this stuff mean? What did Mozart mean, a magic flute? Did he mean a real, no, not a real flute. Metaphors. Relates to magnetic mountain, Mount Meru, your spine, generative organs, goes on, trees, anything solid, energy that holds. It's man and woman together. They're working together to create this line and this zero. 0 equals 10 in numerology. 8 and 2 is man and woman. The 0 is the woman. The line is the man. Straightforward, men, the hunter. There's nothing wrong with that symbolism. But if we don't have a clear understanding of what the hunter means, and we're just killing things and chopping their heads off and hanging them up, how would we feel if a reindeer broke into our house and did the same thing to our family and hoofed everybody and then took those bodies and then hung the parts somewhere in their forest for a human to see while walking in the forest? Wouldn't the human freak out seeing human heads and stuff? So what is this culture of chopping off animals' heads and placing them? I'm sorry to be gory, but it's interesting to me. This behavior, where does it come from? Once again, I have all these animal parts in my body. Hamstring, crista galli in front of my skull means crest of the rooster. I have a locus coeruleus in my brain. Locust is an insect. When you kill an insect, be careful. You're killing something that relates to you. Maybe it had a reason to live. It didn't know that it was inside of your house. It doesn't know that. Roaches, ants, anything gross, they don't know they're in your house. They live on the land. They know that land is for everybody. So maybe our house moved on to their house. And we're killing them, spraying things and chemicals, and we have all this cleaning products, and we're paranoid from germs when the chemicals in the cleaning products cause more harm than the dirt you had in your house. I'm not saying don't be clean. I'm not criticizing people who have a certain way of seeing animals. It's just think about, why are we chopping off animals and going into the forest and wearing camouflage and freaking them out when we can eat trees and walk barefoot and change our appetite? I'm living proof. I've cured myself from many surgeries that told me my career was over. These are millionaire doctors who have land and vineyards, all telling me through science and proving that it's over, Jay. 3 times I was told my dance career is over. And here I am, dancing, jumping, turning at 41 years old. I can dance more intensely than someone in their teens now. Why? Because the body is a battery that needs nature. Simple. That's it. Your sacrum means sacred. That's it. Why is it sacred? That's your journey. There's more things I've missed that you can find that can help this journey. This is what I'm here for as the bull. The bulls carry things like that donkey I told you about. The donkey can carry a heavy load. Look at it. Go to India and see how they are riding these animals and carrying their house, their children, on these beautiful, big, the elephant, for goodness sakes. Good, slow, but sturdy. Airavata means elephant of the clouds. Why would an elephant be a symbol of the sky? Why do we have Taurus fields? What were these East Indians thinking? Up. They were thinking about up. Nature is up. That's what's up, yo. What up? Give me a high 5. 5 elements. Ether, the 5th element. Give me a high 5 and a low. Down low and up high. Remember that game? Low and high. Heaven and hell. Electric and magnetic. Red bull, blue bull. Done. Go on your journey. Trust yourself. I'm grateful for anyone who's subscribed to my channel. Look through the videos. It's not my information. It's our information. Ask questions. And if you have any aha moments, holla at me. Let's build. Let's go back into the system and deal with our traumas first, clean our temples, our brains, go into society and give it vitamins and minerals from the heart. Not man-made, only man-made. There's nothing wrong with inventing things, but too many things are man and woman-made. They add additives. We don't need any more additives. We are enough. The earth provides enough energy. We can live off of it for free. Why are we spending so much money to be sick? You think Burger King is here to make you healthy or sick? Do the math. Why is it legal? Why do we have a Church's Fried Chicken in the South? When I was in Columbia, South Carolina, there was a church, and right beside it, a Church's Fried Chicken. And then a KFC across the street. So now what culture is in that church? Do the math. We're in the South. People who like fried chicken. I'm not going to go there. It's obvious. It's a setup of some sort. Church's Fried Chicken? Is that God's food really in that fried chicken? Or is it making you sick, frying you? Pan's flu. What happened with Pan? He had a plan. Everyone followed Pan into this fiery pit, right? Burning. Now, that means more than one thing, by the way. It's not necessarily an evil thing. But if we want to go with the evil thing, yeah, you can be led into the fires. There can be people who pretend to be good, like fast food chains. They smile, but the food poisons you. But that story of Pan and the flute, it's metaphors for your genitive organs. If you contain your genitive organs, Mozart's magic flute, remember, all the same story, going from bad to good. Very simple. If you master your flute, by the time you get to the fiery pits, what would the fire be? Well, we have fluid in our brain. It's called cerebral spinal fluid. Your spine is known to be a chimney metaphor, where the fluid goes down from your claustrum, look it up, C-L-A-U-S, hence Santa Claus metaphors. Beautiful. Goes down your chimney every day. Do you bring it back up? That fluid is the fiery energy that Pan goes into. Metaphors for you. What are your children? Do we have children? We can make them. We know where that energy might be, the lower chakra. Qi is an anagram for Christ. Simple, look it up. Why? In China, Qi is sexual energy, but Tai Chi, we're containing it. We aren't just running around giving it away to anybody because it's precious. They knew that in ancient times. So why not share it today? You are protecting your children. You're playing your flute with harmony. You are in harmony with your body. That's it. There's no need for sex education now when you know what your body means. It's more than a condom and sexual organs and the act. It's metaphors for consciousness. All the movies, all the fairy tales and myths deal with containing your chi, your energy. All of it's useful. All of your fluids, even your sweat is salty. Seawater is salty. Once again, you're aligned with nature? How? Because you are that. Nothing can debunk this. I'm not about debunking. I don't have time for that. To be proved wrong. How? When we're living in an age, the information age. All my presentations, you don't see my face really. You see me showing you all the information. Etymology never lies. Etymology gave birth to dictionary. Dictionary is diction, to pronounce the word. So you get the definition, but etymology gives you what it relates to in its history. Fact. I didn't have to get a degree to know that, right? I was doing that before I joined the university. To help, to elevate, uplift. Like the degrees of the sun. Midday, 12 o'clock, the sun has already got its mortarboard. It's graduated. Every day it's graduating. Then it descends and falls, and it graduates again. For the scholars, look at the sky. That's you. It's powering you, your solar plexus. So graduate with the sun and the moon and earth. Let all these people be in your life, not just the material, thoughts only. Someone else's understanding, your understanding of you is very different. And it will help the community. And the people who aren't used to that kind of information will have to adjust to you, because those people who didn't know, they got their information from Earth but don't know it. That's it. Because the name, the words have been changed so often, it gets confusing. The metaphors are so intense. but it's a new day. We are the new ones. We, the people, can make a difference with information. So follow me on Instagram, rawzen617. Follow me on YouTube as rawzen, R-A-W space Z-E-N. I'm on Facebook, JHERUSSELL. Also on Twitter under my name. One love to Santos.